Remember their faces and the look of sheer determination. They're the hottest players to come out of the local tennis scene. For Jaime, plans are underway for a long-term stint in Australia. But for now, the 14-year-old's content to focus on her dream.
Well, I hope to play good tennis, and one day hope to be able to play in the French Open and maybe win it.
I've always been a very self-driven person. At the age of 12, I became Singapore's youngest national champion. At 13, I was the youngest member of the Singapore contingent for the SEA Games. At 14, I moved to the US to train full-time. 17, I got an athletic scholarship into Georgia Tech, which is a US university. At 21, I graduated and I received the Total Person Award. And that's an award that's given to the student athlete who best exemplifies excellence in academics, character, athletics, and community service. At 28, I was back in Singapore and I co-founded an academy and the head coach of the academy called Ignite Tennis Academy.
And they're coached by Jaime Wong, founder of Ignite Tennis Academy. While Jaime has the privilege of making tennis her career, she understands that for others it takes a backseat to other priorities.
It almost appears that on the surface I was kind of living the Singaporean dream. You know, top student, top athlete, young local entrepreneur. You know, but yet beneath that surface was kind of a different story. In 2013, I reached an all-time low. I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and clinical depression. I had become suicidal. I was on long-term medication, relying on sleeping pills just to get through the days and the nights. I was also suffering from what doctors call an incurable disease, which is an autoimmune disease where it basically causes inflammation to my digestive system and infection. Physically, emotionally, mentally, I mean, it was not a good time. So much so I tried to end my life several times. One day, after a 40-day fast, I fasted because simple-minded young Christian like me thinking, Jesus fasted for 40 days, things were good after that. Moses fasted for 40 days, things were good. So I thought, hey, I'm going to fast for 40 days and things are going to get better. It didn't. And even on my 40th day, I was still not wanting life. You know, and one day I was on a cruise ship, and as I looked out into the ocean, I thought, this is it. You know, this could be the very end. And I just reached this point where I wanted to put an end to all of it. And just as I was about to act, I caught a glimpse of a book my friend had given to me. And I flipped open the book and I came across these words that said, hang in there. One day your mess will become your message. And, you know, I completely broke down because, yeah, timing of it was, you know, impeccable. And I just said to God, you know, God, I give up. I don't want this life. You know, take it. Just do what you want with it. And that prayer became the defining moment. You know, it became the moment where that just turned and the amazing transformation came. After that prayer, you know, God led me through this miraculous journey of healing and deliverance. And I have been miraculously healed of all my sicknesses, all the mental illnesses, all the physical ailments, including what doctors said was incurable. So it's been 2.5 years and I have been completely medication-free. You know, that moment when I first experienced that love of Christ just come into my heart and just fill it, and my, you know, the glorious presence of Jesus just overwhelmed me. You know, I fell to my knees, you know, and I had my hands lifted up in the sky and I just said, Lord, thank you, Lord. You know, I want to tell the whole world about you. You know, I used to be so terrified of public speaking. But now I have this desire to actually stand up and tell people about what God has done for me. I used to never read or write, but I have written a book, and it's a 240-page book called Chai, which means new life in Hebrew, and that is my testimony of what Jesus has done for me. As I look back, I can finally see or understand what God meant on that cruise ship when He said, one day your mess will become your message. Because today I'm living that new life, that victorious Christian life where I'm no longer, living in darkness and despair, no longer chasing after trophies and accolades that are going to fade and tarnish, but in fact I'm living this purpose-filled life that is just so full of joy and love and peace and hope that only Christ can give. The reason I can be sharing this hope or this message of hope with people is because He has turned my mess into my message.